Point number one of the five things, Nvidia delivers the most important earnings report of all time.
Yeah. So, this is what everybody's been talking about for weeks. The company makes the best graphics processing chips and cards in the world. They started as this amazing manufacturer of graphics cards that were used for gaming, for video games. And then when crypto mining became a big thing, it turned out that the GPUs were better at that than the CPUs. So the graphics processing units made by Nvidia were better than the central processing units made by like Intel or AMD. And so they had another huge leg up in sales there. And then it turns out, for the same reasons, um, as Nvidia's cards were great for crypto mining, it's because of all the parallel processing. And you know what? That turns out to be the thing everybody needs for AI, which is that's the big thing right now. And so, on one hand, you had this ridiculous hyperbole. This is the most important earnings announcement of all time. And it's kind of ridiculous, except it's actually probably true. The company again crushed earnings expectations, crushed sales expectations, gave guidance that was again above street expectations. I think the estimates for this year have quadrupled from where they were a year ago, something like that. It's just been this juggernaut. It's a weird combination, Rob, of a company that has leading product, phenomenal leading product actually in the hottest area of the market, and their sales, they're selling into everybody. So it's the best product in the hottest area of the market. And it's basically become a meme stock as well. The stock is up like 10x from a year ago. It's just been on an incredible run. And when they announced earnings, it wasn't just the US stock market that took off. Worldwide stock market indexes were all up. It actually may have been the most important earnings announcement of all time.
Yeah, curious, Gary, like what a competitor thinks, right? Or even how the market reacts to such a dominant position that Nvidia obviously has with clear ability to continuously perform over and over and over again, and also working with some of the largest corporations in the world as well, right? Your Googles of the world, car manufacturers, etc. So what does that do just from the market? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing, right? With so much consolidation, it seems like in such an important category within one particular organization.
So right now, they are clearly at the top of the game. There is nobody that's even close. With that said, and with that has come huge revenue growth, massive margins, enormous earnings growth, and a stock price that's just gone through the roof. With that said, though, this is the technology area and the technology hardware area. No one has ever been able to maintain any kind of long-term advantage here. There are other competitors that are taking aim at Nvidia. Are they going to surpass them this year? No, not this year. But nobody in the hardware business manages to hold on to a lead like this. There was a time, if you go back 75 years ago, when it looked like IBM, would have that part of the market sewn up. There was a point where on the software side, people thought Microsoft would, be inevitable forever. But, I'll also remind you that there was a point where people thought that that Xerox, right, was going to be this incredible company forever.
Right.
They had a huge stock price. And, now go find a copy machine, let alone a
Right.
Xerox machine. The one comparison that I think is really interesting is people keep comparing NVIDIA now to Cisco
Hmm.
back about 25 years ago during the dot-com boom. And I think it's an interesting, smart comparison that I also think is wrong. And I was talking about this. I was on Tony Nash's show this week, Complete Intelligence. And, it's a great show. And Tony asked me about this, and it made me think about it. The reason I think it's a smart comparison is because Nvidia and Cisco, they're both the pick and shovel guys, right?
Right.
Cisco was selling the servers that everybody who was building out their first internet capability, that Cisco was where they went for those servers. And so, Cisco wasn't trying to design the internet or come up with new websites, but they were selling servers to everybody who was. So, it's like selling picks and shovels to the California gold miners 150 years ago. NVIDIA is like that, right? They're not trying to be the leaders in AI. They're enabling it, and they're selling to everybody who wants to do anything in
Right.
AI. And that part, for that, I think it's a smart comparison. The place where I disagree is Cisco's customers were a lot of the early .com companies that didn't have business models, that were just cash burning excuses to try to put eyeballs on things. Whereas Nvidia is selling to the largest tech companies on the planet. These are companies with massive
Right.
amounts of revenue growth, lots of free cash flow. And so, like the stock line on this is, would you rather sell to Google or to pets.com?
Right. I think that's an obvious choice that we have there.
We'll let the
Moving on from
viewers draw their own conclusion.
we'll let them do that.